and welcome. My name is Kathleen, also known as Kate, and I thank you for joining me and spending the next few minutes as I provide you with an intuitive and astrological overview of the solar lunar eclipse full moon that's happening in Taurus. I'm also going to be providing some holistic tips, some things that you can do naturopathically to help you during these solar eclipses that will be coming, as this is not the first one. It is not the last one. However, it is the first one. So this solar eclipse is going to be very, very powerful. The energies that are opening and the portals that are opening, starting the lunar eclipse season, is being kicked off with the full moon, as I said, in Taurus, in opposite Scorpio, which is crucial to understand. Until October 28th, 2023, we're going to see a series of eclipses, and they're mostly going to be occurring within the signs of Taurus and Scorpio signatures. So wherever you have Taurus and Scorpio in your natal chart is going to be the areas that these eclipses are going to be wanting to overall adjust. So it's a 2-year timeline whereby we're going to be dealing with the common themes of Earth and climate and finance and the economy. The moon is also known, this particular moon is also known as a beaver moon or a frost moon. And it's notably called this because it is the time of the year when the beavers are busy with their dens for the long, cold winter ahead, and the frosts are beginning to return. So it's a time of physically and emotionally asking us to prep for the colder, quieter, longer winter days that will be approaching. We will feel this eclipse as well as the others for several years in these areas of finance, money, other people's money, earth energy, water energy, banking, issues of food distribution, finances, and agriculture itself. And, money is a very personal topic. And when I served in the financial world, I was there for about quite a long time, about 20 years. And I tell you, I had a lot of experience in dealing with money and other people's money. And it is an area of deep personal passion because we live in this earth, of course, that relies on money to function. Well, does it? That's a good question. I mean, I'm not so sure. There's people that have proven that they can live on very, very little. But at the end of the day, you still need to get things. You need to, be able to take care of yourself. And of course, if it's a true, let's say, health medical emergency, you're going to need a hospital, a doctor, and we know all of that is attached to money. So, it's our connection to money. This is huge. You need to understand we're going to be undergoing a huge financial system change. It's coming. There's no stopping this. All signs are pointing to this. So this is feelings of safety and security, which is that root chakra and the solar plexus. These chakras are calling for a balance and a centeredness, and more than ever before. And they're in these two chakras, the energetic footprints there and how you see money is where this is going to be stimulated in your own life, and how you've dealt with it or not dealt with it. If you've got a lot of connections energetically still, perhaps you lived in extreme poverty, or perhaps money was a really weird dynamic in your family where there was a lot of issues of control around it. So this is what's going to be stimulated now. And It's where we're going to find our expression of these energies for good or for harm. And the footprint coming in and the energetic signature coming in, and it's going to be with these eclipses till, like I said, 2023, where a lot of other things are happening as well. But just asking us to release, to take a look at these signatures within our own chart, within our own bodies, within our own minds and hearts, and to release. To go down, identify them. That's Scorpio, because this Taurus full moon is opposite Scorpio. So it's about deep, deep release to then make room for incoming substantial growth. And it's to enter into a space of that deep, deep release and letting go so that you can receive those higher consciousness energies that will be downloaded. They will be coming in energetic footprints over the next few years. So we're really being called with this full moon to a place of personal action. And, Scorpio represents the deeper parts of the psyche and the sometimes darker parts of us that we like to keep hidden. It's fixed water, asking you to look deeply at the waters that need stirring within your life, the areas psychologically in your psyche, your attitude towards these areas that were previously mentioned. And, there are 3 planets sitting in Scorpio: Mars, Mercury, and the Sun, and some other signatures I'm going to talk about in a minute. And Scorpio's planets are Mars and Pluto. So it's representing these energies of deep down and within. Scorpio likes to go deep. It's the sign of psychology. It's the house of psychology. It's the house of esoteric hidden things. It's the house of the occult. So it's these deep-seated, deep down ways within us. The sexual tendencies, Mars, this is desire and energy going forward in our lives, the drives and fetishes. So this is suppressed information. This is secrets and things that maybe we don't want to look at. Things we just would rather keep hidden. But this solar lunar eclipse in Taurus, it's opening ancient doors with this bright torchlight of truth. I see justice, number 2, number 11, which goes to number 2, which then goes to the high priestess in the tarot. Take a look at her. This is balanced yin and yang. This is balanced black and white. This is balanced energies longing to come in and bring illumination to the forefront. So chances are any work that you're doing intuitively over these next few years will be very significant and monumental in your life, because the energies are there for you to go deeper and to really be given discernment in ways that you've not had before, because it's asking us to no longer hide. And, many things are going to be brought out that have been hidden. We've already seen this, right? This has been an ongoing theme with that Uranus in Taurus forever. But we're seeing a lot of hidden things come to light. And I just want to share with you that there are going to be many more. And it will not be an easy time, as it will shift the foundations of how we have seen even our very beginnings. And it will bring in and usher in information that has been long hidden and suppressed. So it's important to understand that this is a very positive time. The veil is going to become thinner. The portals are opening up, and it's going to be able to steer us back on the path to release and end habitual patterns that, they've been damaging us and they've been harmful to ourselves, to the way we relate, to others, to our communities, and thus our entire energetic footprint worldwide. So look at where this full moon is lighting up within your own chart at that 27 degrees of Taurus. And I would say 27 degrees of Scorpio. These are going to be the areas that are really going to help you more isolate exactly what's going on and do a transit report. They're free online in so many places. And I would be an honor to help you with that. If you're ever interested, I do those and kind of go over kind of what's going on in your life in the larger themes and then in the immediate themes. And it's important to know that and have a pulse on it and work with these energies because they truly are there for us to work with. So this full moon, as we're looking at the chart there, is occurring for the Eastern Standard Time. This is New York, New York. I live in the Eastern Standard Time, so this is what I go by, but please adjust it to wherever you live. This is important because there are energetic footprints about you. There are energetic footprints within you. And the place where you live impacts the energetic footprints around you. So these are energies that don't necessarily have the ability to change your original blueprint. That's your natal chart. That's your signature. But these energies will be able to help you or be challenging to where you're trying to go and the goals you're trying to meet and the life that you're living, and thus your overall happiness. So it's always important to pull it where you are. But we've got a moon at 27 degrees in Taurus, and it is opposite that 27 degrees in Scorpio in the second house. So with Taurus in the 8th house, now remember, this is going to move really quickly. The moon stays in a sign for 2.5 days. So it's going to move through pretty quick. But for the next 2.5 days, these energies are, and until the new moon, these energies are really going to be available to us. So it's an opportune time to check in and get a pulse on these energies. You are conjunct the North Node in Gemini and conjunct the asteroid Ceres in Gemini. So you've got Gemini and Taurus operating in the 8th house. So the mixture of the signatures is important. How important they are and how strong they are determines by their degree and how close they are together. But clearly, there's wanting to be some speech about, in Gemini there, about matters of the 8th house, matters of the 2nd house. And Ceres is the mother asteroid. And this is the need for relationship between mother and child. This is caring for our relationships. 8th house is other people. This is Scorpio's house of other people. So this is the need for nurturing and food and the home. Ceres is the goddess of the home hearth. And so she's deeply interested in areas of home, which is, my goodness, our innermost needs, where we eat, where we sleep, where we bathe, where we're supported or not. So this couldn't be more clear. We're talking about home issues here. And with the moon sitting there in Taurus, the moon is really expressing this need for financial and material security in order to maintain your emotional well-being. Moon is your emotions, right? Your emotional mind. How are your emotions doing? And Taurus is all about feeling secure in the 2nd house. And where is he? He's over there in the 8th house opposite his home. And he's in fixed waters. Okay, it's like he's frozen there. Think of it that way. And he's wanting to take care of his financial affairs, and he's wanting his emotional life to be in center and consistent. He's earth, he's fixed earth, and he wants to be faithful and generous to others because Taurus is ruling planet is Venus or Vulcan, depending on exoteric or esoteric, but both of them are important. I'm going to talk about Vulcan in a minute. But you're desiring your attachment to possessions to be one of harmony. And it is an attachment. Remember, Taurus can be really fixed to things. He's very, very earthy. So this is getting him off balance altogether. It is challenging, especially in the 8th house. The moon is challenged here to just feel emotionally calm. You know, the moon's being asked to go really, really deep and do the deep dive and with Scorpio's home there. And Scorpio lives in the cave. And, you know, Taurus is on Earth up on top. And he isn't necessarily interested in going all the way down to Pluto's cave, especially with his money and his things. You know, he wants to be up top on the Earth with Venus and luxury and making things beautiful. And this is also going to relate significantly to the female because of Taurus being in the feminine yin water moon sign planet, that rules Cancer, which is the home. So it's interesting. You've got this Cancer signature of the moon with Ceres, which represents the 4th house. So it's mothers to children. It's a strong theme here. Very much security needed with children. Take care. I hear this. Take care of the children. I see a need to take care of the children. And I see this umbrella coming down around them as if it's our arms saying, care for the children. Watch over the children. It is not just their physical needs. It is their emotional needs of the unsteadiness of the energetic footprints that they feel far more than we know they do that are unstabling them. You might see children acting in ways that you have not seen before. Maybe your child turning a different direction. Just be there as a support. And remember, this is a season and it has a purpose. And on the other side of this is incredible change and transformation that has been needed. So the moon is also opposite Mercury. And Mercury is the intellectual mind. It's the mind that wants to solve and it wants to look at all the patterns out there and figure out a solution and how to implement your life in a positive, practical way. So with Mercury there opposite in Scorpio, you're going to be influenced by your feelings, and you're going to have to understand that your mind will be on things of the moon. And with it being on the moon and with the intellect, you can really be highly perceptive here. These are energies that can easily sense the moods and feelings of others. So you've got this psychic energy coming in and working with the moon. And there's going to be a new awareness with this as well, on the side note, for just a hunger for knowledge and imagination, explaining like, what is going on here? I need to find out about this. So we'll see a real shift in the collective as well in these areas. Be careful with the moon opposite Mercury. You're looking at gossiping and criticism, and it's so far away, so it's like you can stretch the truth, things like this. So yeah, that's all I want to say about the moon there. Let's take a look at Mercury as it's sitting in Scorpio and just talk about it in that signature. And Scorpio has the ability to go extremely deep down. And with Mercury being here, this is some instincts that are off the chart. But you may not see things accurately with that fog of the moon. Mercury wants to go in, Scorpio wants to go in and figure things out. It is, after all, the eighth house, and it's fixed water. And the 8th house is about deep transformation and depth in the psyche and psychology and renewal and sex and death and rebirth and rising like a phoenix from the ashes and peak experiences like highs and lows and, really just hidden things. And the 2nd house, where it's sitting, is Taurus's house. And it's in a fixed earth house. And it's about your resources. So this is a wonderful place for Mercury to be. It's going to help you with what you value and what you need to keep and let go of. That's a great way to put it. What's important, what really matters, what do you need for your material security. Now, with it in Scorpio, it's going to pare that down. It's going to ask you to really evaluate. Like, I see it's like this. You pick up an object and you look at it and you say, is this bringing life to me? Is this bringing life to my home? Is this adding value? Do I use this? And if the answer is no, get rid of it. That's kind of what Scorpio would say. Look, cut it at the root. Scorpio's all about death. Like, it wants to transform you. So you've got a highly transforming energy going on in the area of finances and in the area of the psyche. How you are attached to money, how you see money, how you handle money. Now, with the sun being there in Scorpio, the sun in Scorpio is a very intense and magnetic and insightful person. The Scorpio sun is someone that it's gonna feel extremely deeply and passionately about earthly things, and it could be really clingy. So be careful with that clinginess, because the opposite side of that egotism and yang masculine energy of the sun and the feminine water fixed Scorpio sign, this can be extremism and obsession, and it can lead to some conflicts. Sun in the 2nd house is money matters related to material security and financial circumstances, and how your status is with money. How does the ego exchange itself with money? And, the sun is magnanimous, and it's, Leo's planet after all, and wants to engage with other people. So are your financial transactions honorable? Are you dealing fair with others? These are the kind of questions coming through there with Scorpio. And the sun opposite moon, we know this in the full moon. There's always the sun opposite. The sun is completely lighting up that moon, and you're desiring this inner harmony, and it can be really tough. So it's a time of tenseness as well overall in the emotional areas. And I tell you, sexual areas can be highly charged and under. This is where people could say, I'm just going to come out with who I am, how I am, and I don't care how anybody thinks anymore. It's my very earthy security at stake here, and I've just got to be me. I've got to be me. And with the sun conjunct Mercury, that's this active and alert mind. And, you're going to be able to mentally be quick about it and put your thoughts together. And you're going to be able to express yourself in a way that perhaps you haven't been before because of this energy. So something else that I want to bring up here is in between Mars and the sun is what's called this signature of Vulcan at 22 degrees. And I just want to talk about Vulcan for a minute and explain what's going on with that planet. And it is an esoteric meaning to Vulcan, and it is actually attributed to Taurus in the esoteric manner of astrology, which is more soul astrology. And it's a planet that's hidden between Sun and Mercury in astrology charts. So it comes forth in Taurus. And Vulcan is Heptasius, which was the husband of Venus. And it forges the path ahead. And in the fires of experience, it fashions the lead of the personality into the chalice of the soul. My goodness, this is powerful. What's going on here with this fashioning of the lead of the personality into the chalice of the soul is Vulcan is asking us in our personality level to get in line with the container of the soul, the chalice of the soul, with why we came here in the first place. The true reason of your incarnation and why you showed up to Earth. And it's, I'm going to quote here off of mermaid-uk.net. This is on some information she put together, which ties into Alan Oken, which is Soul-Centered Astrology. Awesome book. And I recognize it, having read it there and then reviewing online for this, and I can see she pulled it out of there. So basically, I will quote both of them as a source, but it's the planet of the first ray here, Taurus. And when a person is leaving the mutable cross and is about to mount the fixed, the effects of Vulcan are very noticeable. So it's going from this nature of, being in the personality, figuring out who you are, and moving into a more fixed soul level, who you are, why you came in here in the first place. Why did you choose to be inside of an earthen vessel? Why did you come into a body? And Vulcan rules that process, which breaks the chains to form. So this is so powerful, you guys. You need to understand it's literally breaking shackles off of our ankles, our hearts, our minds, our hands. And it's acting as the blacksmith of the gods. And Vulcan forges new tools for the expression of consciousness. And all past patterns of behavior are dissolved in favor of growing awareness, which leads ultimately to detachment from the desires and compulsion of form. So it's asking us to go higher. It's asking us to really step back with Vulcan right in between there, between our Mars energy and our Sun ego. It's saying, look, why did your soul come here? And look at that question and what do you need to be set free from? What do you need to be released from? And what do you need to be deeply transformed from, so that you can look more like your soul purpose incarnation? So it's this unfolding of an evolutionary process and a transformative process. And it's really asking us to take a look at our exchange between money and security. At the end of the day, this is money and security and deep changes on the earth. I want to mention also Chiron. Chiron is conjunct Orpheus, and I want to talk about this. Chiron is in Aries and has been, and if you've been listening to me, I've been bringing Chiron in several broadcasts, and we've been tracking the evolution of Chiron. But it's in Aries. We've talked about what that is. In Aries is the first house. It's the person. So it's a deeply, deeply personal, like to yourself type of wound where you don't even feel valuable and like you have a right to be here and like your voice does not matter at all. It's these deeply wounds of self-expression and wounds of an intimate nature. And with it being in the 6th house, Chiron is in the house of Virgo. And this is earth energy again. And it's wanting to work here with Virgo. And Virgo is Mercury's planet and highly, highly introspective. And Chiron is sextiling Saturn. And so you've got this disciplined, hardworking energy of Saturn wanting to work with Chiron in the earthy way in the 6th house and be mutable about it. Like, I need you to be cardinal in it, move out like Aries, but I need you to move around in it. Virgo would say, seek the answers, go deeper, go into the day-to-day, look at what you're doing, your key to healing these wounds and these releases that you need are looking at your day-to-day. What are you doing? What are your habits? Where do you go? Where do you spend your money? Where do you spend your money? That is crucial. And how do you spend your time? And are you with people who are celebrating you the way that you're celebrating them? This is psychological full moon here. This is Scorpio asking you to go into the very depths of your psyche and personality and say, look, are people coming into your life or surrounding you that are supporting you in your dreams? And they don't have to agree with what you're doing, just like you don't have to agree with what they're doing, but we can all be mutually supportive of those that are seeking their dreams and aspirations. And those are the types of people that you truly want around you. And it's a separating of the chaff and Chiron. This is Aries. This self-expression wound has been here now for quite a while. And it's going to be here for a little bit more time. And we've got to clean this up. And it's truly asking us. And with Orpheus there, which is, an asteroid of music and poetry, dirges, lyrics, and it's a sad, sweet, haunting music that comes from Orpheus. And Orpheus, let me find what I have on Orpheus here. Orpheus was a Greek god in mythology and was a musician and the poet and the prophet. And his parents were the king of Thrace, Orgeus, and the muse Calliope. I hope I pronounced that right. But he was considered the best musician and poet of all, and he perfected the lyre. So he's tied to this place of loss, in this place of sad singing, in this place of mourning. That's the biggest word that keeps coming to me is in the 6th house, there's this deep sense of loss and mourning over perhaps what hasn't worked. And the theme here, whenever we bring up Scorpio, and Taurus, these are fixed energies. So these are things that have been around a while. And so, these are areas that perhaps you've overlooked. And it's a shadowy side wanting to truly come into the light. And, a deep disappointment and what one needs to release. And energy, again, that's not worked and it has served its time in place. And Vulcan wants to bring, in Scorpio about these issues, just a new level of awareness and a new level of understanding. And with Mars there in Scorpio, it's going to give us the energy and the drive and the passion to do this. The ruler of Scorpio is Mars. It has a dual nature, though, in its expression level. And Mars is the ruler of the desire nature. And esoterically, it's the desire for the physical incarnation itself. Mars turns itself into a vehicle for sacrifice here. And it's through the physical incarnation that the soul is seen descending into actual matter and form. You become a person here with Mars energy. That's why Mars represents the 1st house. And it's a place of considered a place of sacrifice where you're going to experience yourself now in a denser 3D physical world. So it represents, this full moon, the areas that perhaps we need to sacrifice and let go and just be done with it once and for all, and just be like, you know what? I'm done. I'm done. And with Venus in Capricorn there in the third house of, close relationships, short distance travels, and Venus, and has to do with your money. This is Taurus's planet, and it's in Cappy. And this is going to give you that responsible, pragmatic manner, and it's going to allow you to keep some of your feelings under control. Look for Capricorn to be a very good archetype to just at times when you feel really out of control to think about, because he's definitely going to be there to help you with that, because it's such a strong signature, Venus in Capricorn, excuse me. And with it being in the house of Gemini, Venus is really interested now in the bigger themes of, arts and music and theater and literature and peaceful relations with others, to avoid arguments and disharmony and getting along with people and neighbors and so forth. And Venus is sextiling Mars, so it's giving you this fiery passion and, again, favor in being able to go out and to express yourself. It really is asking you to relate with other people. So last thing I want to bring in is Algol. And Algol is a star that, I tell you, it's considered a demon star. And it blinks in Perseus, the hero in the constellation. And it's what's known as an eclipsing binary. And Algol marks Medusa's severed head and has a reputation for violence and extreme danger. And Algol is a name derived from Arabic Algol, meaning demon, evil spirit, or devil. And the word alcohol can also be traced to Algol. So its underbelly is the nature of Mars and Saturn. All right, this is sitting in a super, super tight conjunction to the Taurus moon. So we could see reactions that have been of an extremely violent nature coming to light and bringing out its expression with this star. And it's opposite the very sun of ego. It is a potent energy. So it's a word of caution here that, tempers and these deep, deep emotional security issues tied to money can get blown out of proportion. With that, I just want to share, concentrate on, if you can, the root chakra, which of course is going to help you balance and center and put yourself in, a position where you do feel secure. and where you're not so stressed out, and where you feel like you can really wrap your head around what's the changes and the shifts. Because if the root chakra is off, then everything is off. And, we certainly don't want that to happen. We want to make sure that we are in our center. And there's crystals you can use for success in this area. And I really recommend the tiger's eye and the ruby and the citrine. Bring in this light and bring in the brightness to your life, and because you're going to be spending time going in and really trying to deal with these areas of relating. And so rose quartz is going to be excellent for you as well, and malachite for protection. But citrine, rose quartz, those come out super, super strongly. And they'll also help with depression. These all help with depression as well. Tiger eye, citrine, lapis lazuli, malachite, black tourmaline, smoky quartz. These are going to help you ground and center. And the other chakra is the solar plexus, because you have to go to the second, which is the sacral. We understand the importance of that. But there's a lot of work being done there. And you've seen expressions through the solar plexus of the work that's needing to be done. And so you already know there's a strong center there with that. So we're really dealing more with the root and the solar plexus. How are you manifesting your understanding of your security for money? So with that, I am going to go ahead and end. And I just thank you for listening and watching. And I hope that you have a wonderful full moon. Don't forget to put your empty jar out and place some water in there with your crystal so that you can utilize it coming to the new moon. And I just speak light and love and transformative knowledge and clarity that it would come to you in full measures. Namaste, dear ones. Namaste.